This is Renee. Renee is a veteran who is disabled in the line of duty. Her injuries aren't too severe, so she is able to work a part-time job. Over here are James and his twins. James works 40 hours a week at minimum wage. Lana had to quit her job after she started having a serious heart problem. None of these families can reasonably afford a market-rate apartment, not even James. Actually, there's almost nowhere in the US where someone working full-time at minimum wage can pay for a one-bedroom apartment without spending more than 30% of their income. So right now, James is paying 60% of his income in rent, and somehow he has to use the rest to pay bills, buy food, and raise his kids. What happens to Renee, James, and Lana? Do they get evicted and lose their jobs? Try to live with friends or relatives? Stay in shelters and motels during the night? Maybe. But maybe they can get a Section 8 housing choice voucher, which will help cover the cost of rent. Let's focus on James. James learns about housing vouchers and looks to see if he makes too much money to be able to apply. His income is very low, so he's eligible. James submits an application to his local or state public housing authority, but the demand for housing assistance is always very high, and there aren't any vouchers left for James and his kids. He gets put on a waiting list. The wait is most often 2 years. So 2 years later, James gets a call that a housing voucher is available for him. James can use his voucher to live in any kind of housing as long as it meets health and safety standards, and the landlord agrees to accept the housing choice voucher each month. The voucher is worth a certain amount of money, and James has to pay the difference. Every month, James pays 30% of his income in rent, and the voucher covers the rest. After a year, James decides to move to a city where he can get a better job. He can move anywhere in the US that has a Section 8 program, and his housing voucher will go with him, as long as he works out the details with his current public housing authority before moving. In most cases, James will have to live in an area for a year before moving again. Sometimes, though, housing choice vouchers are attached to specific housing units, and these are called project-based vouchers. If James applied for and received a project-based voucher, when he moves away, he will lose it. The next eligible family on the waiting list moves into that housing and gets the voucher. Those are the basics of the Section 8 housing voucher program. For all of the details and regulations, visit HUD.gov. Practitioners may also find the Public Housing Agency's toolkit useful at csh.org/PHA Toolkit.